I quit my job. I'm doing social media full time. What now? What's good, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. It's Tiara, and for those who are new, welcome. Today's the day that I'm just gonna tell you guys what is going on in my life. As far as social media, why am I not being consistent? Where is this coming from? There's a lot of factors to this, so I just felt like, let me just break this down. Long story short, I quit my job. Ever since I started social media, I was either having a job, I was in school, I was always doing something else. Up until the end of February of 2025, social media has always been an on-the-side thing for me, which is kind of crazy to think about because I feel like from the outside looking in, it may seem like I do this full time. So now I'm officially doing social media full time. This has been a dream for me for years. I've always wanted to do the social media thing, but I don't think I really knew that this is what I wanted to do until recently, honestly. Ever since I was in middle school, my dream was to be a Viner. I always wanted to be on Vine. I always wanted to make the comedy skits and all that. I wanted to be a Viner. That was just my dream. And then of course, Vine shut down, it withered away, and then Musical.ly came. Fast forward to 2019, TikTok's around. My friends knew that I wanted to be a Viner and they thought I should capitalize on this opportunity and take my dreams to TikTok. But at the time, I'm like, okay, you literally sound crazy. Why would I go on TikTok? All they do is dance on the app and I'm not a dancer. So here was the deal. Download TikTok for a day. If I don't like it, I can delete it. If I like it, I can keep it. And we can probably guess what happened. Fast forward to 2020, COVID hits. We all get sent home from school. I'm at home. I'm like, what am I about to do with all this time? I started posting videos on TikTok. Either the second or third video blew up. Went viral. It was like some kind of comedy skit and they were eating it up. They liked the content. I was like, okay, wait, maybe I could do this. You know what I'm saying? So I started just posting like 3 times a day on TikTok, doing little skits, and I was getting a good following. Although I was posting consistently on TikTok, I still wasn't in the mindset of this is going to be a career for me. It was more so a hobby. So that's when I just continued posting on TikTok and building my following. Fast forward to the end of 2020, I believe. I go back on campus because I studied public health. Any student who was either an athlete or was a STEM major had to be on campus simply because, you know, sports. And then for the STEM majors, we had labs. So we were required to be on campus even though everyone else was home. I still wanted to do the content creation thing. That's kind of when the Instagram talent shows came about. For those who don't know, I spent a good chunk of months doing Instagram live streams and I would bring people on to like show their talent and just use it as a way for people to gather together and just have some sort of fun on Instagram because I was bored. I don't know about y'all, but I was bored. And I think it was a great way to kind of get our minds off the whole pandemic nonsense, all of that. That was my introduction to Instagram content creation, sort of, kind of. From that point on, I was kind of balancing between the two because I was still in school, still doing the content creation thing, and I was also getting brand deals here and there. Once I started working with brands, that's what triggered me to think, what if I do this full time? The only problem was that I'm the only one in my family who does content creation. We don't have a history of it. Healthcare is what runs in the family. So it was really just me battling between, should I just go with what's considered normal or should I go with what my passion is? I just came to the conclusion that I'll do both. It's my senior year in college. Winded it down on the talent shows. I'll get into that a little bit later. This is when I start going outside. There's no more quarantine. I went on my first brand trip. I went to New York Fashion Week, a whole bunch of different events in LA. And that was kind of the missing piece of it all. Cause like I'm doing the content creation. I got to work with brands and now I'm actually outside getting to experience life in the content creation world. Even though I knew this is my long-term goal, I still wanted to pursue my degree. A lot of people were confused as to why I even wanted to finish school. And the reason is just because I wanted to. That's always been my goal. A barrier that I had to come across though was the talkers and the haters. Believe it or not, there were a good amount of people on campus who would question my abilities to do social media full time, which was interesting because the people who would talk about this were people that I'd never even associated myself with. I would just hear it from other people. People would say things like, oh, how is she gonna do social media full time? What if social media goes away? What is she gonna do? Which is interesting because it's like, I'm literally in school like you are. If anything happens, like I'm gonna have a degree so I can have something to fall back on. I had to block out the noise, honestly, because I had to understand that no matter what, I'm going to have people hate. Once I graduated with my degree, that's when things got really, really shaky as far as what I'm gonna do. Am I gonna do the content creation thing or am I gonna do the healthcare thing? Unfortunately, I was in the mindset that I had to play it safe, so I decided to do both. I got a good healthcare job, which was pretty good for me as far as consistency, and I was still doing social media on the side. Now, as far as social media, I was more so posting sporadically. I was not consistent whatsoever. I would post here and there on Instagram, on TikTok, but there was never really a set plan. It was just kind of like for fun again. My drive for for going full-time in social media started to decrease because I was more so focused on the public health things, thinking that that's just what I was going to settle in. So I've been working in public health up until last month. And during the time from like, I would say January and February, that's when I was like, okay, what I'm doing is cool. However, I still don't feel satisfied. I don't feel fulfilled because I don't think I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing. I don't feel like God is really calling me to do this full time. I was doing an assignment that had to do with goal planning. So it said, write out your top 10 goals for the year. One of those goals was social media full time. And then the next step was highlight the goal that's going to have the most influence on you or what's going to have the best impact on you. So I ended up highlighting social media full time. The last step said, the goal that you highlighted is what you're going to achieve in 30 days. 30 days. 30 days? This was in January. So I'm like, how am I about to go into social media full time in 30 days? Like, I need time. This must be a sign that this is what I need to do. Cause I'm just like, bro, I'm over here contemplating, like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? That was like the clearest sign that I need to go into social media. Fast forward, I end up quitting my job end of February of this year, and I decided to do social media full time. So what does that mean? What am I gonna do? Am I gonna sit here? Am I gonna be sporadic and posting? As many of you may see, I've been very consistent on YouTube. I'm very proud of myself. I don't think you understand. Posting on YouTube consistently is so much harder than it sounds or seems. It's work. It really is. I didn't realize that YouTube was where I really needed to be. Because even though I knew that social media was what I needed to do long term, I'm like, okay, wait, does that mean TikTok? Does that mean Instagram? Like, what does that mean? Side note, just because I feel like I need to mention this. The reason why I was so unsure about this was because I knew that doing Instagram full time, as far as like hosting live streams as a full time thing, was just not possible. I would be burnt out and I wouldn't be able to do social media full time. I understand that it's very popular and a lot of people want me to do it. I really do understand that. However, I need to be able to do something that's going to work for me and that's going to allow me to do something that's long term. Like if I'm going to do social media full time, I need to make sure I'm doing something that I could do full time. I was very strategic when it came to what I was going to do in social media. So I started to look into YouTube. As I was filming, I was having so much fun. I'm a yapper as it is. So being able to sit in front of a camera and just yap, it's like a dream. That's when I knew that YouTube was for me. Not to say I'm not going to post on TikTok and Instagram. I still do. But as far as me doing this full time, that's why I lean so much towards YouTube. And that's why I've been so consistent on here. I've built such a great community on here. It doesn't even make sense. I think about it every day. Like the fact that people come here to watch my content, it's such a blessing. And it's awesome to see that you guys enjoy my content. I read your guys' comments, believe it or not. I mean, I try to respond to them if you don't see those, but I do like to interact. It's just so amazing to be able to do something that I love and to also see in turn that you guys are enjoying it. So I do want to thank you guys honestly so much for the support. It really helps me keep going and it makes me want to keep pushing out content for you guys. I want to give you guys some insight on what my life is like kind of behind the scenes and kind of giving you an explanation as to why I'm all of a sudden popping up on the platform. I hope this answers some questions, or if you guys had some curiosity, maybe you did it, maybe you don't even care, I don't know, who knows. And I also want to be an inspiration to those who are battling between what path they should go in. If you feel like your dream is to do social media, then you just got to make a plan and stick with the plan. You can do anything that you set your mind to, honestly, for real. I'm very excited to pursue social media content creation, engaging with this new community that I'm building here. I'm so excited to see what the future holds. I want to thank you again for your support. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for joining, for tuning in. It really does mean a lot. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I'll see you on the flip side. T is out.